So a couple of days ago now, I went to see North Lane play a show in London, and their support bands were Void of Vision, who I thought were very good, and Polaris, who I thought were excellent. I'd listened to Polaris when The Mortal Coil came out, and The Remedy stuck out to me as one of the best songs, well, definitely the best song on that album. And then seeing them live for the first time the other night, I was like, this is a really good song. And I pretty much spent the whole time watching Daniel Fenari, I think his name is, just because I was transfixed. I hadn't really paid much attention to how good the drums were on Polaris songs, but yeah, his performance and the band's performance as a whole was really good. So as soon as I came home, I was like, Polaris, The Remedy, drum covers. And I watched a few, but this was by far my favourite. So today, we are taking a look at Fat Sam, love the name, and his drum cover of The Remedy by Polaris. So let's check it out. Fat Cave Studios. I will say now, this cover's not perfect. That fill-in is perfect though, with like the palm muted. Is that a palm mute? I don't know, I know nothing about guitars. I just love that intro fill, it's so good. That stick throw, it's like, where does it even go? I don't know what it is about this video. You can see me, I'm like bobbing out. Like, I love this cover, I don't know why. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but of all the ones I watched, this was the one where I was like, yeah, this rips. And it's not even perfect, like, you'll see in a minute, there's a bit that makes me really quite sad, but the main things that I noticed when I was watching this and why I wanted to bring it to you guys is because you just saw it then very quickly. So there's a lot of accented snare hits kind of all over this song, and Fat Sam's technique is impressive. So accents are quite hard to sort of explain when you're teaching because it's not quite a ghost note, but it's not powerful enough to be a standard like snare hit. But his technique of like, he kind of twists his wrist and drops his fingers, so it's similar to that of a ghost note, but there's a bit more, because of the wrist twist and the drop, there's more power to it. You'll see it a couple of times from that kind of like side-on camera view. Yeah, it goes without saying some of the fill-ins aren't perfect, but what are you going to do? And while he's in the chorus, I can talk about the other reason that I thought this was a cover worth bringing to the channel is because riding on a Crash and a China, which we saw him do earlier, is sometimes for beginner drummers or, you know, getting into intermediate level, because traditionally you teach drummers, you know, you ride a ride and rhythms are generally played on a hi-hat. Crashes are only used in fill-ins or just, you know, at the end of a bar or whatever. Let's pause. I'll pause this just for the breakdown, because he does a really bad version of it, but it's such a good breakdown, and unfortunately Fat Sam doesn't quite do it justice, but his own version is still not bad. It's still pretty good. One of these days I really need to put my money where my mouth is and just actually start going back to making drum covers, but it's difficult. You know, my acoustic drum kit's back at my parents' house, but anyway, yeah, riding on a Crash, it can be a little bit alien to students as they, you know, as they're progressing, and maybe if you're teaching them music like this, maybe not to this difficulty level, but anyway, getting that precision of riding with the cymbal, because obviously Crashes tend to fly about a lot more than rides, and obviously more than hi-hats, and getting that rhythm down where you're hitting the Crash at the correct precise moment as it kind of falls back into place. And he's demonstrating it now at a slower tempo on the China. It's a combination of power, because if you hit the Crash too hard or the China too hard, it's going to fly about too much. Nice, good finish. And yeah, combination of power and then precision, and just getting into the rhythm of seeing. That's the thing. Sometimes it's helpful to actually watch the cymbal as it ebbs and flows with your hits, and then just timing it and getting it more precise so that you're getting a consistent sound from the cymbal. Because there's times, we've all done it, I've definitely done it a handful of times, more than that, where you're crashing on you're riding on a crash, and you know, you hit it once too hard, and then as it kind of flies back up like this, because of the rhythm of the song or the tempo of the song, you want to do another crash, but you end up kind of siding on, which is one of those little like ding tricks that people sometimes do. But when you're playing a rock song, it sounds bad. When you're playing anything, it sounds bad. So that's a really good demonstration of riding on a crash or on a china and keeping the rhythm going. He doesn't miss a beat while he's playing, you know, right hand. The fill-ins aren't perfect. The breakdown is far from perfect, but I just really enjoy that cover. It's a really good song. If you're looking for like definitely a higher end the higher end side of intermediate, if you like, metalcore, then Polaris is a great band to check out. Fat Sam, props. That's a really good cover. I enjoy watching it. I hope you guys did too. Thanks very much, and see you next time.